For nearly 30 years, a master con man spun a web of lies. He used several names, including a famous one, Rockefeller, charming his way up the social ladder. But can he also be called a killer? 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty went face to face with a man who could still be hiding his darkest secret.
Because we always start this way with an interview. Could you introduce yourself saying, I am?
No. Everybody knows who I am.
Well, who are you? I don't think everybody does know who you are.
No.
He's Christopher Crowe of Greenwich, Connecticut.
Very prominent people were fooled by him.
He's Christopher Chichester of San Marino, California.
To him, it was a game.
He's Clark Rockefeller of New York.
On July 27, 2008, news spread like wildfire that a member of the Rockefeller family had kidnapped his 7-year-old daughter during a supervised visitation.
There is still no sign of Clark Rockefeller and his 7-year-old daughter, Ray.
But then a Rockefeller family spokesman declared, he's not one of ours. It was when the FBI apprehended Clark Rockefeller for kidnapping that his 30-year con finally unraveled.
Who are you?
I can't tell you.
Why?
Can't tell you.
Because you've done something that somebody's looking for you for, right?
The man with a half-dozen aliases had pretended to be British royalty, a famous television producer, and even worked as a bond trader.
What should I call you?
Gee, that's always a good question. I don't know, Erin. What would you like to call me?
But he wasn't just conning people for a living. He was also on the run, hiding from investigators who suspected him of killing John Soas and his young bride Linda back in 1985 in the wealthy LA suburb of San Marino.
He was steeped in the literature and the cinema of murder.
Novelist Walter Kern, who once believed that he was friends with a Rockefeller, thinks the con man could have easily turned killer just for the thrill of it.
A lot of these movies he saw have a plot in which somebody who thinks they're very smart commits the perfect crime, and it makes fools of everybody else because they get to go forth with a secret that no one else will know.
Erin, don't put any words in my mouth.
And efforts to get to that secret are met with resistance.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Judy, we gotta stop this.
I mean, the police and
Every time I tried, he would cry out to 48 Hours producer Judy Ryback to stop me,
Judy, let's discuss that.
and even tried to walk out.
Unfortunately, Erin, we gotta stop it.
But I kept him in his chair long enough to ask point blank,
Did you kill John Soas?
Boy, Erin Moriarty joins us at the table. That looks a little awkward. Always hard when the person you're interviewing, when you just start with something as tell us your name and they go, no, I'm not going to do that.
And yet he's the one who wanted to sit down and talk with us. And he talked with us without his attorney. And he talked with us for a long period of time. And then he kept switching back and forth about what he wanted to talk about. He does talk about, which I think is really interesting, is how he learned about American culture. And it's totally from reading books, watching movies like Alfred Hitchcock, and also television, Gilligan's Island.
Well, that's how immigrants learn.
Please?
Yeah, exactly. That's what immigrants do. They watch a lot of television to learn how to speak English.
And then when you think how smart he is then, to come to this country, though, and just based on that, be able to create these personas that fool people for almost 30 years.
Why do you use the name Rockefeller?
Well, I love this story because I guess he was Chris Crowe, and he went to dinner in New York, and he was waiting for a table, and he couldn't get it. So he decided to throw out the name Rockefeller, and he got a table like that, and he decided, I'm sticking with it.
I try and regularly use the name Charlie Rose, but then when they see me...
She's yet to get seated.
What's fascinating about this, too, is the interaction between the two of you. Is it that, do you think that he is still denying what he's done?
Well, I don't think that. I think he's performing. I think he's trying to pull something, to pull the wool over my eyes as well. I think he's always performing, but there's also kind of a sad thing about this man. If you think for 30 years he was pretending to be other people, I don't think there really is anyone behind the Christian Gerhardt writer. There is no one there anymore.
But he's trying to figure out who he is. I think it's interesting. He says, I want to talk to you, and then you get there, and then he doesn't really want to talk to you.
And is there significant evidence that he committed the crime?
Not significant evidence. That's what's really interesting. Very circumstantial. That is the one thing he was very clear about, that he didn't do it. In fact, he thinks the wife is still, he says he thinks the wife is still alive and that she's the one who killed the husband.
Thank you, Erin. Great to have you here.
And you can see Erin's full report, a.k.a. Rockefeller, on 48 Hours tomorrow night.